debut appearance at the FIFA World Cup is always a matter of pride. For Croatia, that debut in France in 1998 turned into one of the most remarkable entrances in the tournament's history. As a nation with only 6 years of independence away from former Yugoslavia, they needed a man in charge with both vast experience and a great passion for the new country. The one they found was an exact fit. Miroslav Blažević is the current coach of Bosnia-Herzegovina. He's now in his 70s, and when he joined Croatia in 1994, he'd already been in top-class management for 26 years. He was also a staunch supporter of the nation's independence, having been a member of a pro-Croatian political party at the time of his appointment. There couldn't have been a better man for the job.
I took advantage of the intense patriotism that had taken root throughout the squad. We were very much an unknown country, so a good performance at the tournament would put not just the team, but the whole nation in the spotlight. It was therefore very easy for me to get the players motivated.
One who needed no motivation was Zvonimir Boban, considered a national hero. Blažević was quick to name him captain of a vastly talented squad. Real Madrid's Davor Šuker led the line, whilst the scorer of Croatia's first World Cup goal, Mario Stanic, was, like Boban, plying his trade in Italy. There were also players Blažević knew from one of his 3 stints in charge of Dinamo Zagreb, such as Robert Prosinecki.
He was a very young player, only 17 years old when I first coached him, and he wasn't afraid of anything. He knew how good he was, and because of that he became overconfident. So I said that if he ever became a decent player, I would eat my coaching diploma. People saw it as a massive statement, but I said it just to bring his feet back to the ground. That's the truth, but I suppose I must have been mad, as it was me who eventually selected him for the national team.
The first Croatian match was against Jamaica, and the scores were tied at 1 apiece when Prosinecki gave the world an example of just how good he could be. Davor Šuker added a third late on to ensure that their opening match got off to the perfect start. In the next game, Šuker was again on target as they secured a 1-0 win over Japan. A loss to Argentina in their final group game didn't affect their progress, and Croatia booked their place in the last 16. Here they met Romania, whose hair almost matched their yellow kits after they'd celebrated winning their group with the help of some peroxide. Blažević had come with his own props, as both nations were determined to enjoy the occasion. It's unlikely that Georgi Popescu had much fun, however. On the stroke of half-time, he was adjudged to have brought down Šuker in the area. Šuker picked himself up to score his 3rd goal in 4 games, putting him on course for the golden shoe. It proved to be the difference between the teams. The sea of red and white Czech could now celebrate a place in the quarter-finals. Croatia, young pretenders and tournament sensations, now face Germany, masters of knockout competition and reigning European champions. En route to that European title, Germany had eliminated Croatia in what had been a particularly bruising encounter. And it hadn't been forgotten.
Of course, for either team to progress to the semi-final, they had to win the game. So I think it's no surprise that it was played in a very physical manner. We had a bit of luck as well, as one of their players was sent off relatively early in the game, and we were able to take advantage of that.
With Christian Wern's red-carded after only 40 minutes, Croatia seemed to find another gear. Just before half-time, Robert Jani opened the scoring. Goran Vlahović doubled the lead with 10 minutes remaining. And, almost inevitably, Davor Šuker added a third. It condemned Germany to their worst FIFA World Cup result in 44 years and exercised the demons of Euro '96.
I think that we played brilliantly in that game. Beating Germany 3-0? Well, not many people have been able to do that.
If some people hadn't been convinced of their quality before the quarter-final, that performance left them in no doubt. Croatia were serious contenders, but standing in the way of a fairy tale place in the final was the host nation, France. The first half passed with few chances for either side, but the second burst into life. Aljoša Hasanovic's through ball was latched onto by Šuker, who steered the ball home for his 5th goal of the tournament. It was hardly a surprise to see Davor Šuker's name on the score sheet, but France's equaliser barely a minute later came from the most unlikely of sources. Lilian Thuram found himself in the centre-forward position to score his first ever goal for Les Bleus. Thuram made 144 appearances for France in all and scored just 2 goals. The second came only 22 minutes after his first. It gave France a lead they'd never surrender, and it would bring Croatia's great adventure to an end.
France won the World Cup after that. And if we hadn't had what I call a sporting accident, we could have won it. Because Brazil were weaker then than they've ever been. But even after everything, the country was very happy and very proud about what had happened. Hardly anybody had expected us to finish in 3rd place. To be honest, I was sad. I might have been old then, but I think that if, at the time, I had the experience I do now, then Croatia would have been champions of the world.